Joanna, you will be removed. Okay. Okay, so it let's try to wait for Ellen or Abdullah to come in. Can you hear me clearly,
Yes
everyone?
po, sir.
Yes, sir.
How about
Very
Yes, sir.
audible po.
thank you so much. How about my presentation? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Wala pa, sir.
Okay. Wala pa? Wala pa nakita sa uban. Actually, kaganina rin siya naka-present. Joanna, Joanna,
Yes, sir.
Joanna, I would like to assign you to be our class monitor. So kindly write the names na kung sino yung nakapasok dito. So you have to write the names yung pinakauna na part. So bali ang meron tayong pa-in at saka out na attendance. Is that okay?
Opo,
Joanna?
sir. Opo, sir.
Okay, kindly prepare for it. Anyway, bali every day you have to send it to me. So every meeting, but right after our meeting or within the day, send a soft copy to me. Bali the in and then the out kung sino pa yung nandito. Okay? Joanna?
Opo, sir. Okay po, sir. Noted
Uh,
po.
okay, thank you so much. Okay. You can now start today. Okay. Since my voice is audible and then the presentation is visible, so we'll now start the discussion. I will not hold you long because we will be discussing a very specific part of a particular topic, no, in statistics, and then right after that, I will be providing you again a short quiz, and then a short quiz again. Hindi siya isang araw. It will be open to a maximum perhaps of 3 days, and then the activity sheet, which is also perhaps maximum of 4 days, 4 to 5 days nga deadline, no, as we say. And then, by the way, I would like to inform everyone that I cannot impose, I cannot impose myself. No, I cannot impose to this class that we cannot have classes um, due to Ramadan. I'm so sorry because the university itself is not actually declaring that we cannot hold any classes because of Ramadan. So if I will be doing that, I could be get I could get reprimanded, and that will be bad for me. No, I hope you understand. And I believe, although perhaps, yeah, most of you and all of you, perhaps you have your struggles, but then again, katunga, no, during our orientation, that we all have struggles, but then again, kung gugustuhin man natin that this particular subject could be a successful one, we could actually find ways, no? And then again, do not stress out, manage your time properly. I believe you still have your everyday works, no, when it comes to this Ramadan. But then again, if you kung gugustuhin, maraming paraan talaga, no, if you could actually do that. And then anyway, I think your teachers are very aware of that, no, since most of your teachers naman are the same, are with the same religion sa inyo, ha. Therefore they could actually understand. So perhaps yung mga teachers niyo naman are very lenient. I do not know, no, but then again, I think they are much more conscious and sensitive when it comes to giving activities to you, especially kung you have the same religion. No? As for my case, although hindi tayo magka-parehas ng religion, I can actually understand you. But then again, I cannot impose it again because the university itself is not declaring that we cannot or we should not do classes or we should not attend classes, no, because of Ramadan. So wala kaming ganyang directive, so I cannot follow it. And of course, since walang directive, I cannot impose it here. I hope you understand that. Klaro ba sa lahat?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
Yes,
much. Yes,
sir.
thank you so much. Okay, so let's continue our discussion. Actually, we are done with constructing FDT. Although it's a little bit challenging for you all, constructing it, especially with this time of pandemic. But I hope that anyway we will be doing a lot more. No, we will do it a lot more. Therefore, most likely ma-practice pa ninyo siya. Okay, so we will be discussing at some point the continuation of constructing frequency distribution, but at this time you will be doing it with graphical representations or graph. Okay. The scores expressed in frequency distribution can be meaningful and easier to interpret when they are graphed. No, when you will be writing your thesis proposal and even your thesis, if you are into thesis writing, it is better to be understood if you will translate your data, if you will translate those numbers into graphical representation. Why? You can actually see pictures. And if you can see pictures, you can actually understand better, no? And then you can actually see trends. Kasi that's the main point why we are doing graphical representation to easily understand the data. Okay? Histogram consists of a set of rectangles having bases on the horizon. By the way, I will be introducing you to main graphical representation of scores for the FDT. So I will be discussing it to you um, based on your based on your handout. Duha ra gyud na siya, no? We have histogram and then we also have here frequency polygon. Okay. So again, histogram consists of a set of rectangles having bases on the horizontal axis. I believe you understand the word rectangle. I believe you understand the word base or bases. Okay. When we say base, yung nasa baba, no? On the horizontal axis, I believe you understand horizontal, which centers at the class marks. And of course, I believe you understand the term class marks because we discussed that. No, class marks is also known as midpoint. So histogram is best used for graphical representation of discrete data or non-continuous data. When we say discrete data, what does it mean? Anybody? When we say discrete data,
Counting, sir.
Computation.
Result of counting.
result of
Counting, sir.
result of counting. Yes, no. So you have one, two, three, four. You have four books. You have four ball pens, for example. You have three color pens. So those are discrete data or the non-continuous data. So your histogram now is best for your histogram is best for discrete data or representing your discrete data or non-continuous data. Please take note of that or put highlight to that. The other one is the frequency polygon. It is constructed by plotting the class marks against the class frequencies again. Please take note for the frequency polygon. This is between class marks and then of course your class frequency. No, asa tong class frequency katong gidenote na tong letter F. Katong small letter f, that is our frequency. So this is best used in representing continuous data, such as the scores of students in a given test. So when we say continuous data, this is the result of a computation. And then a score, no, a score here is considered to be continuous since it is computed. Okay, compute na siya. Okay, according to the statement. So again, we have two graphical representations of scores in frequency distribution. You just have to look at the definition of each and then try to look at the description, no? Kung asa sila best gamiton, no? For histogram, this is best used for discrete data. For your what you call this? For your frequency polygon, it is best used for your continuous data. Okay, so those are the two graphical representations. Question so far?
None so far po.
So far, sir.
Not so far. Okay, let's try to look at here an example of a histogram. By the way, children, this is an example of histogram. So ang binigay na description doon, rectangle. So these are your rectangles. Kaya naka blue ba na siya or violet, no? Nakadepende kung ano yung anong sa screen dyan. So you have here rectangles, no? And then please take note that according to our description, having bases on the horizontal axis, okay? Having bases on the horizontal axis, which yung sa centers daw, centers at the class marks. So, asan yung class marks natin? Nandito yung class marks natin. Yan, 0.05, 0.03, okay? Sir, ano po itong nasa baba? Actually, these are, if you're going to look at, these are actually the what you call it, the classes, no? Kana siya, the classes. And then yung nasa gitna, those are the class marks. So will be the heights and then the relative frequency. Anyway, during our activity, I will be giving you very simple naman na problem wherein you could actually follow, no? And then the instruction of course will be very clear that you have to use the value for the frequency perhaps, and then the other one for classes, no? By the way, para lang maklaro natin, this is our horizontal axis, this one. And this one, this is our vertical axis. Ako ha?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sige. Next, this is an example of a frequency polygon. Sir, ganyan lang talaga siya straight. Actually, your frequency polygon, rooted siya sa, pwede natin siyang gamitin itong histogram. Now, all you have to do is put lines there, like that. No? So, lagyan mo lang yan ng straight line starting from here up to here. Parang ganyan, no? Parang mo siyang i-curve out ninyo siya. And that is now your frequency polygon. So, some of the examples perhaps sa mga textbooks sa statistics, you could actually see that frequency polygon and then meron pa rin siyang rectangles here. Okay? So again, perhaps your frequency polygon, it could actually be traced using your histogram. But then again, to give delineation between the two, tinanggal natin yung rectangles dito, and then we retain the lines here. So again, these are the scores and then the frequency. Okay? So gitanaw lagi ko na ang points. No? This is not uh, alien to us because we actually do this in our algebra and of course in our trigonometry. Okay. So all you have to do is to plot, no? Just make sure na yung data na na-compute natin ay tama para makakuha din tayo ng tamang graphical representation. Question so far?
Sir,
And so far.
Yes. Yes, Joanna. Joanna?
it is required po ba, sir, na yung 44.5 is naka-attach talaga sa zero? Kumbaga na, may another example na hindi zero, kailangan talaga naka-attach?
Yes. Yes, siguro perhaps ang example dito, siguro ang problem dito Johanna and everyone is that yung 44.5 wala nakakuha na score dito. Kaya di ba pag sinasabi nating frequency, ilan yung nakakuha for this particular scores. So perhaps for this problem siguro if we're going to look at walang nakakuha ng 44.5 na score. Kaya naka-attach siya sa bandang 0.
Okay
Nakuha?
po, sir. Opo, sir. Bale, may
Yes.
possible na kung may example na walang zero, pwedeng hindi na siya
Yes, dear.
i-attach. Okay po.
You still have yung iba they still have to attach it para malaman kung saan nang galing, somewhat like that, para lang ipakita. Kasi we have to in our frequency polygon kasi we have to connect the dots. For
Okay
now,
po, sir.
that is why kahit zero siya, we still have to trace it so that ma-connect natin siya later. Okay?
Opo, sir.
Okay, thank you for asking. Another, any questions? Wala na?
Wala
Okay,
na
so let's
siguro, sir.
continue. Okay, so let's continue. Matry nga. Matry nga, no? Because I will be providing you the activity sheet later. Again, it involves constructing FDT, but this time, meron tayong additional feature, which is you have to construct a graphical representation for the result of your FDT. Okay. Yeah. Don't worry, we will be getting some time to discuss really your answers, no? Especially kung mag-exam na ta, so we still have to go back to our assessments and then let's talk about it. Okay, let's proceed to describing group performance. For the describing group performance, I will be just discussing perhaps mean, no, yung pinakauna because for our mean median mode here, no, sa atong measures of central tendency, we have mean median mode. We actually have two parts each, no. We have mean group and then group. We also have mode group and then group, and then we have median group and then group. So yung kukunin lang natin, we will stop discussing mean, no? Because I will be giving you another activity sheet for that. So wag na natin palagpasin pa for median and mode because it requires another activity sheet and then at some point it is heavy for you, no? So we'll end the discussion after median. Mean. Okay, there are two major concepts in describing the assessed performance of the group: measures of central tendency and measures of variability. So ito yung mga ginagamit natin if you are going to assess a group performance, no? Kung gusto natin malaman kung ano ba talaga yung performance of the group, no? Because right after getting the individual scores of the students, yung gusto na namang malaman ng teacher is to identify the performance of the group. No, that is why when you will be teachers in the future na, no, you will be hired in the DepEd, you would really notice that after getting the individual performance of your students, you have to check the group performance. And that particular group performance can now affect your performance. Okay? So, ang ginagamit dyan are actually two major concepts. We have measures of central tendency and measures of variability. But the first one we have to have first measures of central tendency. So measures of central tendency are used to determine the average score of a group of scores, while measures of variability indicated the spread of scores in the group. So again, yung sa central tendency, ito yung mga assessment tools or statistical tools that could identify the average performance of the group. No, kanang basic concept na nalaman natin na i-add lahat ng mga scores and then i-divide. Okay, so that's actually our basic idea when it comes to measures of central tendency, average score of the group. When we say measures of variability, this is now the time that we have to look at the spread of the scores. So ano po yung ibig sabihin? Because right after getting the average of the average scores of the group, we have to look at now kung gaano ba ka-spread yung scores. So ano ibig sabihin? Gaano kalayo yung scores? Uh, right after getting the average, ano kaya yung score sa mga estudyante? Dito natin malalaman na may scores pala na 1/20. And then marami palang 19/20. No? And then merong 2/20. Merong 18/20. If we're going to look at the numbers, they are actually spread apart. Ang layo. Or siguro, right after getting the average, you notice na yung mga scores sa mga estudyante ay magkalapit lang. The highest score is 19/20. Yung iba, meron nakakuha ng 17/20. Yung iba, meron nakakuha ng 18/20. Di ba? Magkalapit na yung scores. So that's the idea of measures of variability. Again, central tendency could actually determine the average score of a group, and then measures of variability could actually see the spreading of the scores. Okay, sir, why do we really have to look at the average performance, and then the spread of the group. Because right after this one, uh, we cannot actually stick. We cannot actually judge the performance of the individual student or the group right after getting 54 over 60. No, because marami pang process for us really to evaluate the performance, and these are actually the technical steps, no, on how to do it. So let's have first measure of central tendency. It describes a set of scores with a single number that describes the performance of the group. No, like for example, you have to add all the scores of the students and you get single number. Okay, and that particular single number could actually describe pa lang hay dili gid kayo siya ingon nga mag-judge dayon sa performance of the group, but it could describe the performance of the group. Okay? So like for example, again, nagpa-quiz kag 20 items and then you get the average, and then according to the average, 18 ang average, and therefore you can now describe the performance of the group. Okay? A single value that is used to describe the center of the data. Kung asa nakafocus ang data. So siguro kung 18 yung average natin, most likely you can assume that the scores of the students are really great, no? Kasi nga yung average ay 18, malapit sa perfect score. There are three commonly used measures of central tendency. These are the mean, median, and mode. And again, as I have stated, I will just be discussing mean, no, for measure of central tendency. But then again, some of the examples are already stipulated in your ano yun sa problem sets yung binigay ko sa inyo. So meron na dong mga examples, no, as sample problems and solutions. So you can actually see it. Okay, let's have mean first. So, mean, according to here, is the most commonly used measure of the center of data, and it also referred as the arithmetic average. Okay, so when we say average, that is mean. Okay, so again, that is the commonly used measure of the center of data, and it is also referred as the arithmetic average. We have here the formula to compute your population mean. Alam naman natin, no, sa statistics, I believe, because you are all product of a senior high school. Pag sinabi nating capital letter N, that is population. Pag sinabi nating small letter n, that is the sample. Okay, that is our very basic knowledge when it comes to statistics. So for the population mean, you will use this formula. Okay, actually, meron na similar lang siya. All you have to do is really to use the proper variables for us to determine if that is a population or a sample. Okay, for a while, for a while. Okay? Again ha, why do we have, although kung titingnan natin yung formula, the same lang naman, we really have to use the proper variables, no? The capital letter N, the small n, and so on, because we have to identify if that is a population and a sample. And in statistics, that is very, very, very important, no, for us to determine really if that is population or sample. Okay? Okay, next. Now let's have this the ungrouped data. So our pattern will be ungrouped and then group. No, so mean again is the most commonly used measure of the center of data, and this is the formula for the mean for ungrouped data. Okay, so meron tayong ito and then the other one. Okay, so we have x bar, no, is equal to summation of x over n. Or we also have the other one, x bar is equal to summation of frequency. Actually, summation is siya of the value of your frequency and then the the value over n, no, the x here. Okay, so we will be using that formula. Let's try to look at f here again. Children is our frequency, no, and then the x will be given naman, and then n is the of number of samples, no. Okay, let's try to look at an example. So scores of 15 students in Mathematics 1 quiz consist of 25 items. Okay? Again, there are scores of 15 students nag-take ng Math 1 quiz na merong 25 items. The highest score is 25. Okay, may naka-perfect. And the lowest score is 10. Here are the scores: 25, 20, 18, 18, 17, 15, 15, 15, 14, 14, 13, 12, 12, 10, 10. If we're going to look at our data, children, the data is actually arranged in decreasing order. Okay, nakadepende yan kung increasing or decreasing as long as ma-arrange na siya. Sir, kailangan po ba namin i-arrange? Yes, yes, because you have to, para naman hindi siya confusing tingnan at mas madaling hanapin kung saan yung highest and then lowest score. Okay. And then all you have to do is to find the mean in the following scores. Anong gagamitin nating formula? Of course, this is our x, no? Yung scores natin, ito yung x. Okay, naka-arrange yan. And then we have to use this one. Summation of x is equal to 228. Ibig sabihin, gi-add lang nato na sila tanan, no? And that is 228. Okay. So, pakitingnan lang kung tama ba yung value, no? Okay. O baka mali yung pa-compute ko. Basta ang ginawa dito, you have to add everything and then that is now your summation of x, children. And then of course, n is equal to 15 because you only get 15 students. Okay? Do not use the 25 items because our samples are 15 students. Okay? Next, let's plug in the value. So we will be using the first formula, no? Summation of x is equal to n, summation x over n. So, therefore, then we have 228 divided by 15. Therefore, the answer is 15.2. Okay? So that is 15.2. Therefore, this is the arithmetic average for this problem. Okay. So the average performance, by the way, we have to practice no giving the what you call this the interpretation. So the average performance of 15 students who participated in a mathematics quiz consisting of 25 items is 15.2. The implication of this is that student who got scores below 15.2 did not perform well in the said examination. So please take note kung paano siya ginawa, itong interpretation, because this is a good practice by the time you will be writing your thesis. Okay, and then of course, students who got scores higher than 15.2 performed well in the examination compared to the performance of the whole class. Ang ibig sabihin daw ng average children ay kung sino yung nakakuha ng mababang score, ang mababang score or scores na mas mababa pa sa 15.2, those are the students who did not perform well in the exam. But yung mga estudyante na nakakuha ng scores above 15.2, ibig sabihin sila yung nag-perform well sa examination. Kasi nga, remember, 15.2 is what we call the center of the data. Okay? Nasa gitna siya. So yung nasa baba, mean to say, not performing well, yung nasa taas are performing well. Question so far?
So
None
far,
po
sir.
po.
Okay. Next. Let's have example number 2. Perhaps I'll be using the second formula. Find the grade point average. So this is how you compute your GPA of Liza Sigera, Liza Sigera, for the first semester of the school year 1452 to 1453. Wala tiguang na kayo, wala bukog na siguro nino. Use the table below. Okay, ito yung mga grades ni Liza Sigera. Meron siyang BM112, BM101, EC103, and so on. Okay? Ito yung grade niya for this semester, and then the equivalent units of each subject. So ang ginawa children, gimultiply lang ang imuhang grade and then the unit. That is why you have 3.75. Okay? And then flat 1 to 3, you get 3. And then of course, dito tayo sa pinakababa, you have flat 1 and then 2 units. That is why you have 2. Okay? So meaning this value here is actually the product of your grade and then the units. Okay? And then, gagamitin natin itong formula, yung formula number 2 kanina, summation of this one. So all you have to do is to add 3.75, 3, 7.5, 3, 4.5, 375, 4.5, and dos. So imo na siyang i-add tanan, you got 32. Okay? Sir, saan ang galing ang 26 according to the formula? 26 is coming from this one, summation of WI, mean to say this is the total number of units. 3 plus 3, 6, 3 plus 3, 3, 3, 3, and 2. Kindly check lang. So again, 32 nanggaling dito, no, nanggaling dito. I-add na lahat. Ang 26 nanggaling sa number of units. So divide 32 divided by 26. Therefore, ang GPA ni Liza Sigera for that semester is 1.23. Okay? Actually, I gave this example to the other group, and then they told me actually that, sir, that is um another way of computing the GPA because we also have another way. Yes, you can actually do the other way, but this is also the other way of doing it. Okay? Question so far?
None so far
Wala
po.
na, sir.
None so far po.
Not so far.
None so far.
Okay.
Wala na
Let's
siya.
try let's try to look at the sorry. Okay? Sige, diri lang sa ta sa mean and group. Okay? Because the other one is group, no? Okay? So dito muna tayo sa ungrouped. Okay, let's have that one. So wala bang question? Because we will end the discussion. Wala na?
Wala na
Wala
po.
na, sir. Wala po, sir.
Okay. Yes, Joanna, kindly check the names again kung sino yung natira.
Sige po, sir.
Thank you, dear. Okay, I will now stop the recording since you didn't have any questions.
Done na po.